Hello everyone. In this video we're going to teach you as how to add some roles in the server, and we're going to create some user account as well as administrative account. Now in the last video we have showed you how to install server, and we did some basic configuration. Even in the client we did some basic configurations, and before that we installed Windows 7. So now before you join this client to the server, we need to add some roles in the server. So let's start the server. So click on that one and just say start, because we have done a complete shutdown last time and I explained to you what do you mean by this thing shows you the meaning, what in what state the machine is. Now you got this, you started the server. Now I think if you get a chance, you try to look at these options. It's quite you need to important. For example, if you want to see this screen on a full screen, you can do this by going in view, and you can go and see, you can go in different sizes here. Okay, you can scale the window, you can go to the full screen mode. So you have some options like what kind of screens you're going to look for. Okay, so now this is, I told you, if you want to insert, sometime I told you, now see it shows you press Ctrl Alt Del, and hope you remember I told you if you want to go into the screen, you don't need to press Ctrl Alt Del in your keyboard. You need to press only Alt and Del on your right hand side of the keyboard. Okay, or if you're a bit confused, you can try it, but if you're confused, it's better to go for input keyboard, and you can say this one. Okay, this time I'm going to press from keyboard is Alt and Del. Oh sorry, is one minute, it's like okay, sorry, it was only Control Del. I said Alt Del. Now is Control and Del on your right hand side. But if I told you, if you're having a problem, the best thing is go to input and just say Control Alt Del. But if you're doing it from a keyboard, don't press, sorry, I made a mistake, don't press Alt and Del, is Control and Del on your right hand side. So here they're asking you password, and you remember the password I gave, capital P, password and 1. So once you go into the screen, so there your server is ready, and as you remember, the first initial window, configuration window, will always come up as usual, and you can see that that we have set the IP address in this, and we have changed the computer name as server. Okay, but you can see in this role section there is no roles here. So this time we're going to add the roles here. Okay, so click add roles. Okay, so server roles. Okay, and the first roles what we have to do install is called ADDS. That's called Active Directory Domain Services. Okay, and of course what is the functions, your lecturer will be explaining you in the class, and here are a bit what does it mean, what is the description of here. So after clicking on this, just say next, then say next, and that's it, and say install. So here no any configuration you need to do, just click on it, next, and install. That's it. So once this is finished, you will be ready with this role, and I'll just show you that this role, they will show you that this role has been added in this. But now to just go a bit further, once you install the ADDS, we need to install DNS in this. So see, you just press close, and you can see nicely now that in the area of roles it shows you that ADDS is being loaded. Now once ADDS has been loaded, now what you have to do is we need to install DNS. okay, in order to um, the system to now work, and as well as to, if you want to create a user account and everything, though you can create it, but then if you want like you want to join the client to the server, we need to install DNS. Now to install DNS, you go and say add roles, server roles, click on DNS, but what they say is it that you cannot add the roles, meaning you can't install DNS by this method, but they gave you a hint. Instead you need to run DC promo to install, okay, DNS and server together. I mean, they are saying that if you want to install DNS, you can't go this way, but you need to run DC promo. So you just say okay, okay. So you can't go with this way. What the best thing will be, close it, cancel it, okay, and you need to go to start and type DC promo. So once you type DC promo, here is the something which will come up. Click it, and here is a screen will come up which will help you to install DNS, and they will integrate that DNS with ADDS. Okay, you don't need to go in advanced things. Go next, next, and now one thing is that you have not installed, you have not created any domain in this server. Is the first time. So when it's the first time, say create a new domain in the forest, meaning you're going to create a domain here. So let's say next, and here is you need to give a domain name. So FQDN meaning fully qualified domain name. So let's say I want to create a domain name as St. Patrick, okay, .com, or anything like the easiest for me will be stp.com or stp.co.uk, anything you can give. So like just give a domain name, say next. Okay, so since this is the first time, you need to give you need to create a domain name, because if you don't create a domain, you can't join the client to the server. So you need a domain name. So that's for that reason we are installing DNS. And once you install the DNS process, they will ask you this. So now they're asking you the functional level. Since you're installing, so meaning they're asking you what kind of functional level you want to have for the in the ADDS. So what you're going to do is select the 2008, next, and leave it as it is because you are trying to integrate DNS. So next, and they are going to give you something about a sort of warning for delegation. You say yes is right, say next, leave this setting right now for the time being, next, and now they're asking you one solid password to protect your ADDS and DNS. That means if any changes, if somebody want to delete it, they won't allow them to delete it if they don't know the password. So here you can give a password. So normally, let's say for example, you might forget, even I can forget the password. For practicing reason, I can give the same password as capital P, password 1. Okay, password 1. You can give a different password. I gave it password, the same password as for logging into the server. So next, next. Okay, and now they will do some configurations, and they try to integrate DNS into the ADDS. And once it's over, you will see that they will be integrating DNS together. Okay, so this is how you install first ADDS, and then you go into your start, run DC promo for installing DNS. Now for DNS, you don't need to go like roles and add roles. It won't allow you to do it. So best thing, once you've installed ADDS, you need to come to start and type the word DC promo there in the start area, and you need to go this way, the way it's. Now normally, like if you want to install ADDS DNS together, the best thing will be no need of going into roles and add roles. The best thing will be just start and type your DC promo, okay, and it will install ADDS DNS both together. Okay, so once the installation is done, you will see that they will show you that DNS is also installed in this. So again, it's going to take just a few more seconds. So that's it. So you say finish, and they're telling you to restart it. Of course, you need to restart, because now while restarting, they'll try to configure DNS with ADDS, and you see that again you can resize it from here, or you can go in view option and you can try all these options to go into the full screen mode. Okay, and these are like different devices virtually connected to this virtual machines. Now again they will ask you to press Ctrl Alt Del. So you can do it two-way, which I showed you is you need to go to input keyboard and say insert Ctrl Alt Del. Okay, but don't press Ctrl Alt Del on your laptop, because it will go into the lock screen of your laptop. So either you go in this one, or you need to press only Ctrl and Del on your right hand side, and not, sorry, I made a mistake last time. It was, I told Alt and Del, but now it should be Ctrl and Del. So once you enter with by giving a password after the restart process, so you can see that initial configuration window will come up. So see, you can see the roles here. It'll be showing you. Now see, we have created the DNS domain names. We have created a domain here that's called stp.com. Okay, and you can see that DNS and ADDS are now being installed. Okay, so you have install ADDS, you have installed the DNS, and you have given a domain name called stp.com. So once you created the you created a domain. Now what you can do is you can join the client to this domain, and this is how you're going to join them. Now before the joining process, what we're going to teach you is we're going to show you is how do you we're going to show you first is how do you create user ID and password, meaning if the client is going to use this client machines. Okay, so they will be logging. If before logging it, they need an ID and password. So how would you create those kind of ID and password? So you can create two kind of user ID and password, one for the normal user and one for the administrative level. Now you can create user ID password of different privilege, but then you need to learn a more deep insight about it. So but right now we need to know only two things, that we need to create two kind of user. One is normal user level, and one is for the administrative level. So let's close this, and as usual the server manager will start automatically itself. So and even if you close down, we give you an idea how to go back. You can click on the server manager, or you go to start, administrative tools, and server manager. Okay, so once you come into the server manager, okay, so where will you create user ID? Expand this role section. Okay, and you can see that you have called ADDS. Expand that one, and you can see Active Directory users and computers. So you need to go to this area, and they will show you that this area is related with the domain which you created. So expand that, and you can see the areas like built-in computers, domain computers, okay, and users here. So we need to create user ID in this one. Now what we can do, we create another folder here and we can create user ID password in that folder also. It's not necessary that we have to create in especially in this folder. You can create another folder. For example, you can go to this STP and you can say right click, new, and you can create another group, okay, and inside the group you can create the user ID password, or you can say new shared folder and you can create in that one. So what we're going to do is let's create a user ID in this folder. So we clicked here, and these are, you can see by default they're given a guest account and they're given a built-in administrative account. So how do you create a new user account? You can either right click on this and say new user, or you come in this folder in this area and say right click and say new user. It's the same thing. So either you click in this open area or you click here the way we showed you, right click, new, and you can say the word user. So here is there. So what you can give the first name. Let's say for example I want to give name as first name my name Amjad, last name Alam. So this is just the name. Now here they're asking you the login name. So this is just the name. Now don't get confused with name and login. Login is the actual name, is going to be treated as ID to login from the client. So let's say I want to give an ID like normally I'll just take it simple like Alam, but most of the company they try to use it like a.alam or Alam, and they give a number, anything. So let's say I make it easy that Alam, okay, so the full login detail will be like alam@stp.com. So this is my login ID, okay. So when you say next, now you know normally when you give ID you have to give a default password, okay, which they can change it later. You're just giving a starting default password, so when the user log in with the ID they need one password which you need to provide. So normally in a company they give a very simple password, like as the way we do password 2 or password 3, okay, or any simple. So again I prefer is like let's make a password as very simple for you to remember. Let's make it as password 2, or let's take any simple password. So capital P and rest all in capital small letters password, I'm giving it 2. So now this password they can change it, you know, when you do the first time, when they do the login for the first time they can change this password. So it's just a default password you're giving for the first time. So or let's take let's take an easy one which I can say as, you know, capital L London 2016. So London 2016, and you see what options you have ticked it here. You're saying that user must change password as the next login. So you know London 2016, you will tell them okay, this is your ID Alam and this is your password. So when they try to log in from client, they will log in with ID Alam and with password London 2016. But the moment they log in, computer will ask them that you need to change the password. So this option is for that one. But if you don't want them to change the password, you can remove it from here. But it's better you can give the privilege to let them change the password. Okay, that's what you can. If they don't want to change the password, you can click here. Now password never expire mean after, you know, like a certain time computer will prompt the user ID to change the password after 2 months or 1 month. But if you want that it should not allow, don't ask the computer, the computer doesn't allow, don't ask them to change the password, you can click on this one. And if you want to disable the account, ID will be created, but that ID and password will not be used to log in, it will be disabled. So anyway, depending on what your choice is, normally this is the best option for it. Normally you click on this so that the user can change the password at the next login and say next and finish. So this is how you create a user ID. So this is the name of the person, of the client, and but the ID is something different. If you want to again see what is the ID, you can go right click, and if you say properties, you can see that You go in account and you see that login name is Alam, right? In a similar way, you can create administrative account also. You can go and say new. Oh, for administrative, you can do two way. One way is go to any administrative account which is already been created. Let's say, for example, is already been created here. So right click on it and say copy. When you say the word copy, that's it. So you just give the name, you give the login ID, but this time they won't create this as a normal user, but they will create as a administrative. So give your detail and say next. So whatever ID will be created here, that will be of administrative level. So this is one way of making administrative account. Another way to create administrative account is if you have any normal user account, you can change normal user account to administrative. You can do it. How would you do this? Is right click on this normal user account, go to properties, then you come member of. So you see, if you click on member of, you see that is a member of common users, mean domain users, normal users. So if you want to make this normal user as administrative, you can do it. You can give them power, or you can remove the power. So how you're going to do is you're just going to say add, and here you type as administrator. You don't have to type the whole spelling, just say admin and say check names. So it'll come in underline here. So once if it comes in underline, meaning yes, administrator will come automatically, meaning this is correct now. So if you want to add this power, just say OK, and you can see now that this user was a domain user, that means a normal user, but now is also an administrator. Okay, so if you want to remove now, you can click and you can remove it. So you can give them power and you can convert normal user as administrator, and you can apply it. So now this user is no more a normal user, is an administrator. Okay, if you want to revert back it to as normal users, right click, properties, member of, click on administrator and say remove. So now is normal domain user now. Okay, and say apply. So this is how you can create both the type of account, and you can change from one user level to another user level. Okay, so what we have shown you in this video is how do you create how do you install ADDS, how do you install DNS, okay, and how do you create user account. So in the next video we will show you how do you how do you join this client to this server. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.